This is Love from Level Up Consulting Firm, and today we're talking about no more excuses. So, I'm about to read off some of the top reasons that people give me for why they have not started a business yet, why they haven't gone off on a limb, as if they're not already going on a limb by having a job. Let me tell you this: security is the great illusion. There's no such thing as job security. Okay, you can be fired at the drop of a hat. You can be laid off. This pandemic, if it hasn't taught you anything, you have to secure your own bag and you have to have multiple sources of income. But I digress. I'm going to get right back to this, the list of excuses, and then give you some reasons why these should not be excuses so we can fix them. So number one, people say they haven't started their business yet because they're antisocial. Excuse me? You're antisocial. Okay, so you mean to tell me you can talk about love and hip hop, you can gossip with your friends, talk about family members to other family members, talk about the news to strangers in a grocery store, but you're antisocial when it comes to you branching out and meeting potential customers? I have a problem with that. It's not that you're antisocial, your priorities are not in order. You're not antisocial, you talk a lot. Get your priorities straight. Okay? Write down what really matters to you so you can fix it. Next, you stutter. Now, this is a real issue, right? And so people get nervous around others. You may have been picked on in the past for the way you speak, and it may be embarrassing for you, but there are several different avenues that you can take. So number one, typically college will have what they call a writing and speaking studio. And at the speaking studio, you can practice the speeches that you already have. They can give you a sample speech. They also have speech pathologists that you can go talk to and meet with who can help you, speech therapists. And these people are clinically trained to be able to help you articulate your words and speak the way you want to speak. Something that costs no money, obviously the writing and speaking studio, but also what they call Toastmasters. That is a group, it's known internationally, and Toastmasters helps you with speeches as well. And oftentimes you guys meet and they have a different prompt, and you have to sort of talk about that prompt and discuss what you have to discuss. So for instance, you come in and they're like, okay, today the prompt is pizza. And so you would be improvising on what pizza tastes like, or what it feels like, or how it's made, or what places sell pizza, things of that nature. Next, you have an odor. So some people, they smell funny. Let's just be honest. They smell funny, and they know they smell funny, and people talk about them, but they genuinely don't know how to fix it. We live in the age of information, and this can't be an excuse either. Fix the odor. If you try some over-the-counter methods, if you go to the store and you've already changed your diet and you're doing things differently, you're wearing a different perfume, you're wearing deodorant, and you still have a certain type of odor, go to the doctor and talk to them about it. Maybe it's something internal. I know I used to work with a woman, I was about 17 at the time, but her breath smelled really bad. I'm talking about halitosis bad, right? But she didn't have halitosis. It was something else, and it was a gastrointestinal issue. But you know, if you have issues with your gut, digestion, any things of that nature, it will also affect your breath. So she did things to help her. It didn't matter how many times she brushed her teeth, but essentially she had to go and get a medication so that she would be able to smell better. So do what you have to do. Next, you're shy. Okay, so being shy, sometimes people really do have some type of social anxiety. And so if it's tied to a diagnosis of some sort, I can understand that, but definitely seek help for it, because anxiety, a lot of people live with that. They live with anxiety, they live with depression, and so it's okay. It's normal, but it's still not something that you should want to interfere with your life and your well-being, right? And so if it's causing you to not step out on a limb and do new things, it's also not making you happy, and that needs to be corrected. So figure out what you can do to rectify that. Go talk to someone, speak to a therapist about your anxiety, figure out what kind of exercises you can do to put yourself out there more, something that would be comfortable. And I'm not going to ever say, especially if you deal with social anxiety, I'm not going to ever say to throw yourself out there in a situation. You could hyperventilate. I don't know what side effects come with that, but I do know it affects everybody differently. And so just to be sensitive to what your needs are, I would encourage you to seek professional help. So next, you have trust issues. Some people don't want to start a business or go network with people because they don't trust anybody. And I'll definitely tell you this, not trusting anybody can affect you whether you have money or not. It can affect you whether you go out on a limb or not. So essentially, it's up to you. Okay, you have trust issues, you don't want to talk to anybody, don't want to branch out, but you still have to talk to people when you're working for someone else. And even more so because you have to do whatever it is that they want you to do in order to fulfill your job duties. And so, some people are like, oh, well, I do what I want at work. That has limits. And we know that. That has limits. People get tired of you saying no and them not understanding why. It goes beyond just, okay, well, this person doesn't want to do it because it goes against their morals and values and blah, blah, blah. Well, that means you need another job, because this job requires X, Y, and Z. You guys get it? So fix it. Work on your trust issues. Go talk to a therapist. Speak with the people that you love and care about and see what happened, what went wrong. Journal. See if you can find patterns in your behavior, and then go talk to someone to see if a counselor can help you through it. Next, because you're scared. There's a really good book by Susan Jeffers called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And I absolutely love that book. It did not take me long at all to read it, and I'm actually thinking about reading it again. Susan Jeffers, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And you can actually find it on Amazon if I'm not mistaken. But this book was actually written years ago, and it talks about how fear is inevitable. Everyone gets scared. Even when I do something new, I can be afraid. But even though I'm scared, that doesn't mean I'm not going to go and pursue the dream. Sometimes if it doesn't scare you, they say it's not big enough. And you should want to push yourself outside of your comfort zone so that when you have the opportunity to do something greater, you just take it. And then it becomes like second nature. And so ultimately, everybody has that feeling. Everybody goes through that when they try something new. And even if, I know for myself, I was never really afraid to try new things until I started really reaching different heights. So it's like me going into a new avenue of business, or me elevating myself in my own business. That's scary because I'm like, okay, I did this. This is where I wanted to be. And now I want to go higher. So it's like new territory, new ground to break. And it's refreshing, and it should be. So don't be scared. And if you are scared, feel that fear, do it anyway. Next, some people say they won't start their business because they don't have any money. Do you know how many businesses you can start without money? Like, is this a game? It must be a joke. Okay, and you know what? I'll actually do a video on types of businesses that you can start without having money, so that way you will know how simple and easy it is. Like I always say, where there's a will, there is a way. Okay, don't use money as an excuse ever. I remember when I was in undergrad at Meredith, my father passed away in 2012, so it was in the summer, and he actually passed away the day before my high school graduation. And that was very, very difficult for my family. My family no longer had more than one income. And essentially, I knew my mom wasn't going to be able to afford college for me because I was attending a private school and I have 3 younger siblings, right? And so I had to think like, do I want to take out all these loans? Do I want to wait after high school and just get a job and save money for college? Do I want to stay home and help my family? And my family told me, no, you cannot stay here. Like, we need you to go out, be great, and don't worry about what we have going on here. And then I met a woman one day and I was telling her, well, I kind of thought about going to grad school, but now I'm like, I don't really know if I want to take out all of these loans. And she said, don't ever allow money to be the reason why you don't pursue your goals. Money should never stop you from doing anything. And I said, wow. And I've carried that with me. And I don't allow money to stop me from doing anything and reaching my goals. So I want to encourage you all, where there's a will, there's a way. You can do it. Don't feel discouraged. And just know, as usual, I am here for you. And if you need to reach me, all of my information will be right down there in the description box. It'll have my email address. It'll have my YouTube link where you can watch the rest of my videos. It'll have my Instagram page where you can DM me, and it'll also have a booking link in case you need some services. All right, no more excuses. Bye.